Good evening, lovely tubers. White Mexican back again with another Market Watch investments video for you guys tonight. Getting things started with Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. This card is super amazing. Currently limited to one on the list. Has been for quite some time here. A lot of really amazing prints here. My personal favorites would obviously be the Shonen Jump Ultra Rare. Now granted, I completely, utterly despise Ultra Rare. I really do not like Ultra Rare. I think it's the most disgusting rarity in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! But there is a few exceptions that I make personally, such as Gen 1, First Edition, Collector's Ultra stuff, Shonen Jump, Duelist Saga, Dual Terminal, and that's pretty much it. But anyway, so really great price points here for the Shonen Jump. Of course, you got the Secret Rare from the very infamous Legendary Collection 4. Really amazing reprint set. I really recommend you guys check out that entire set. A lot of old school great stuff and high rarities. And of course, the DT3. We got the Dual Saga one as well, which is pretty cool. But I definitely think the top tiers would be the Secret, DT, and the Ultra. There is a special edition Super Rare as well, which is going for a couple bones here. But let's go ahead and view the top dog here. It looks like it was about 14, and this card has gone up quite a bit. The last couple of weeks, I've noticed it's trickled up slowly, and this is just, again, this is always a powerhouse card. And again, I guess technically speaking, this would be the hardest version to get, so I can kind of see why it has the most, the biggest, or the heaviest price tag here. 25 bones is the starting market price for this, and then quickly goes up to 29, and then 30. Only 2 pages on the market, and there's only 1 3-stack here and a 2-stack here, so probably just because there's not that much availability, but that's just really insane. I just really haven't seen this card in dwindling numbers in a while, and that's a pretty incredible price point for that card. It's good. It's a really good card. I mean, you can use it in more than just dragons, and it's got really cool artwork. Let's go ahead and take a look at the secret version, taking a second place spot here. Again, Legendary Collection 4, as well as 3, some of my all-time favorite reprint sets ever. You guys should definitely check them out when you guys have a chance. And it looks like this one's a foreign OCG one, so don't concern yourself with that. Here is 15 bones, pretty much all across the board. Only first editions available here on the market, so interesting enough. But starting price is 15. And quickly trickles up to about 19. Only 3 pages on the market for the secret. So personally, I mean, I don't know. I personally have the Shonen Jump Ultras. I think I have 6. And I don't know if I have. I'm pretty sure that's the only version I have. I don't have the secrets or the DTs. I would personally want to run the secret rare because, again, I really like secret rare a lot. But I would definitely not discredit the DT commons. Now, granted, they are just commons, but they're DT, and DT is no longer being manufactured. Konami has pushed no communication of reproducing this rarity. I think it's a safe bet to say the majority of players really enjoy the DT rarity. It's really cool, and it's about 5 bones. It's pretty much about 5 bones all across the board for the first couple ones here, and then jumped up to about 6 and 7, and then there's only 2 pages here. There's a fat stack of 10 here. So pretty cool stuff on Red Eyes Darkness. Next is going to be Box of Friends. I don't really have a major explanation for this besides the sheer fact that it's really cheap. And it's from Number Hunters, which was kind of just like an obscure subset that came out a really long time ago. This used to be a solo print. Unfortunately, it did get reprinted as a super in one of the Advent calendars. But it's mostly just artwork. It's an old school secret rare. I think it has really cool artwork. And as far as playability, I don't know. I was probably not going to be used playability wise. I mean, who knows? The meta's always changing, but there's just something about this card. I don't know. There's just something about this card that I just really like, mostly just because it's old, secret rare, and it's got really cool artwork. But that's pretty much going to be more than enough for me. Again, you want to go first editions exclusively, so none on the first page. Our first editions are going to be roughly around 3 bones. So surprisingly enough, this is actually a price increase. This actually is even cheaper than that. I remember picking these up for like a half a bone, if even that. They're like insanely cheap. And now they're about 3 bones. Here's a 2-stack here. And pretty much all like around, yeah, pretty much 3 bones if you factor in shipping, around 2, 3. plenty available, plenty available. So Dark Ruler No More is going to be next. Of course, this used to be a solo print as a Prismatic Secret downing out of 2019 Gold Sarco Tins, and then there was a structure deck. I forget which one reproduced it as a common. No one's going to really care about the common. I mean, it brings down the price of the Prismatic Secret, which is all you're really going to care about, because of course you're going to want to run the Prismatic Secret. This is a really good card, and a lot of people don't run this, and I think that this is like a, it's just a really good card. I personally don't have any. I need to pick up some of these because I've always this is a good card. It's a really good card, and it's got really cool artwork, and it's a Prismatic Secret rare. So that's pretty much all you need to know about that. And its starting price is like 7 bones. It's pretty much 7 bones all across the board, and that slowly trickles up to about 8. And it's a 17 stack here and 5+ pages, so plenty of availability. Just a really good card. Also, Called by the Grave, I mean, it's hit to 1, and rightfully so. That's a really good card, too. Really enjoy the Prismatic Secrets of those. I just actually ordered a playset of those. Pretty excited about that. Next is going to be Endless Decay. So, of late, I've been messing around with zombies a whole lot, and I was thinking about... Oh, I totally forgot. So, in my last video, what's the card called? Warning Point. I talked about Warning Point. I have to apologize. I totally thought that that card was... What's it called? I thought it was for the whole turn. I basically thought it was like a turn lockdown. It's just a simple mistake. And the card actually blows. I think it's actually really dumb now that I think about it. Because I thought it was literally for the whole turn, not just for like that summon. So this was a card that I was like raving about in my last video because it was so cheap, and you know, it's a secret rare and all this stuff. It's a really good card, but it's like not, because I did some research on it and it's kind of stupid. I should have known this. It's really just lack of education, but I didn't know that it wasn't like for the whole entire tone. Like you set it and just completely end your opponent's turn. So anyway, completely disregard what I said about this. I really don't think this is a good investment at all. I don't even think that this is worth this much. It should be like way less than this. I just completely misread this card, so I apologize. I was going to put that in the beginning of the video, but I totally forgot. So Endless Decay. I've been messing around with zombies of late, and there's a stipulation with Zombie Sucker that you can use zombie monsters to tribute as if they're your own. So you can use your opponent's monsters. There's also a nice little tech that you can do with Valroach, which is pretty cool. And I thought maybe, why not using this card? You know, if you have Zombie World out and Sucker, you can use Sucker's effect. And it doesn't really matter. I mean, when you Zombie World, you can, everything's zombies, so you can tribute your opponent's monsters. So you can neg them by tributing one of their monsters, especially something like this. And if it's in the beginning of the game, it could potentially be 4K, a 4K beer. So I think that's really, really cool. It's kind of out there. It's definitely a stretch. My personal opinion, this is the best rarity. This is obviously the Ultra Shonen Jump. So pretty cool stuff. And it's really cheap. There's a 10 super rare, which I don't remember which 10, but there's a 10 super rare, but this is definitely the more desirable print coming out of the Jump. So I was just thinking about that, and just in general, like, there's just something about this card. Like, the artwork's pretty cool, but that has the potential to be special summon if you're like way far behind in the game. And even if then, you can just summon it, one tribute, regardless of how you want to do it. And it could potentially be a 4K beater, which is pretty cool, I think. So this card's insanely cheap. It's like not even a bone. It's literally like under $1, like all across the board, and there's plenty to market. So there's just it's mostly just the sheer fact that it's really cheap and it's a Shonen Jump promo. I know a lot of people collect that kind of stuff. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Book of Life is going to be next, specifically the original OG print from Pharaonic Guardian, again part of the Gen 1 first 13 core sets here as a super rare. I love this card. Pharaonic Guardian is one of my... I really like that set a lot because Gravekeepers came out of that. That's what's it called? Premiered the original Gravekeepers, I guess I could say. And I'm a really big Gravekeeper fan. I really love Gravekeepers a lot. And just the first 13 core sets in general. Also, there's a couple different versions of this. I think there's also some other super rare as well. But and this one, of course, has the magic stamp because this is, really, really old, the first print. So that's really cool. History merit points right there. Anyway, I just think it's really cool. At least as far as I know, I mean, I'm not the only one. I know there's several different people that have been and still currently are messing around with zombies. You have the different engines that you can use, like Edlich, and of course the Zombie Horde structure deck is what completely skyrocketed the control for this archetype. But anyway, this is a really cool card, and for potentially mirror match, it's not only a Monster Reborn, but it can also be a DD Crow. So I mean, I think it's pretty cool. If you're doing a mirror match, you can remove their Balrouch, and I don't know. This is just, again, the artwork's really cool. I've always really been into Egyptian stuff, and obviously Yu-Gi-Oh is like an Egyptian-based game. I mean, it's originally from Japan, but I just really like Egyptian cards a lot. So that's very much all I'm going to say about that. There's like several different reasons that I think you guys should invest in this card. Obviously, first edition always, and it's incredibly cheap. I mean, being so old and for all the reasons I mentioned before, it's pretty much like 3 bones for lightly prayed first editions. For the first couple ones here, 4 pages on the market, and it's pretty much 3 bones again. So for lightly played, let's go ahead and see if we can find you guys a near mint. So first edition near mint is going to be on the last page, and those go up to about 11 bones, so about 11 plus bones for those. And then for some reason this person has listed this one at 45, so it's interesting. Next is going to be Red Blossom from the Underroot. This is a solo print ultra rare from Dual Devastator. This set was very interesting because when it first came out, there was so much like staples and so many hand traps and so many things that people really wanted. Unfortunately, they made the whole set an ultra rare, which is, again, my personal player preferences. I hate ultra. I think it looks disgusting. I just have this thing. I just have like this thing against ultra rares, and it makes the cards look like almost like gold, like bad versions of gold. But anyway, I think this card is really cool artwork. Its effect really isn't that great. If this got reprinted as a secret rare or anything higher than an ultra rare, I think it would be maybe worth investing in if it keeps this price point of being so cheap. But just the sheer fact that this has really cool artwork and it kind of like has like the allure of like a ghost hand trap girl is pretty cool. And again, it's just so insanely cheap. But unfortunately, the biggest thing that's the takeaway for me is that they made it an ultra rare, and I'm just really not a big fan. But definitely an interesting card in general. Next is going to be Dual Overload. So I didn't know it. I was actually over here playing my locals, and I actually lost twice to Dragoon because of, well, I just lost because of Dragoon. I couldn't stop Dragoon, and I didn't know with Anaconda the paying the 2K and then sending from the deck like the Red Eye Fusion is a cost. So I learned that the hard way over here at one of the locals. And that was really unfortunate because it took the match for me, but interesting. So that's really good money here, and just in general. So I know that like all these like Dual Devastator, Dual Overload, Dual Power, a lot of people invested relatively heavily. I personally only invested in Dual Power personally out of all of your Ultra sets quite a while ago now, but some pretty good money. More specifically in this set for sure. I mean, Anaconda's like 30 plus. You got I believe this is the second or third version of Impermanence going for 2024. You got Needle Fiber and just all this other stuff. So I mean, this is definitely one of those sets that you should definitely review every once in a while because you could probably pull off some pretty good sales here and there. Pretty cool that they had the little oversized jumbo cards in this too. There's actually a friend of mine here who has them all on his wall, which he made into like decorations and has them like framed in like these nice little wooden frames and stuff, which I thought that was pretty cool. It was a neat little tech. Next is gonna be Magical Musketeers. So I really love this decor a lot. This decor is really, it's kind of hard to find the right time in the meta for this, but I've always just really appreciated this. This and Fables is like one of the only like theme based archetypes that I know, besides maybe Dark Lords. I don't know if there's some light Dark Lords, because I know they're Fiend too, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, really like that deck too. But this is insanely cheap right now. I mean, for a little while there was a little bit of hype, probably about a year and a half ago with this deck. Right before they got the reprints in, was it Spirit Warriors? No, Spirit Warriors was the original set that they got. It was the Dual Overload. That's nasty ass ultra rares is what with the reprints. Anyway, so even like the original print secrets first, they're all relatively cheap. Obviously, Starfire and Caspar are the most expensive, or actually Cross Domination is. So it's kind of interesting. But this decor is really cheap. The majority of stuff comes in secret rare. The link monster is really good. If you guys go into that and read that, it's actually really it makes the deck a lot better, and it's just a really fun. The mechanics is very unique. How you can play the magic and traps from your hand on your opponent's turn is just really fun, and this is a really cool deck. So I just wanted to showcase it really quick. I think it deserves some of the spotlight. Next is going to be Witch's Strike, the original print, secret rares from Savage Strike. Now this card is slow and situational, but if you pull it off, it's still to date like one of the most biggest turntables to date, up there, right up there with Evenly Matched. And the artwork is really cool. Love the artwork, and this is just, I don't know, this is just a really, I don't really have the words for this, but I really like this card a lot. I personally invested in several copies, first edition OG prints myself, and this is roughly around $4 for a lightly played. And then there's two near mins here for 4, and then you factor in shipping, unless you double stack, and plenty of availability. Again, Savage Strike was really not that long ago, but I feel like there was so much hype behind this card, and then it came out, and then no one cared about it, and like no one still has not cared about it since. But I've always really appreciated this card. I think that there's probably only one time that I've ever actually ran this and actually pulled it off and actually cleared my opponent's field, and obviously won. It was pretty great, but it's just like it's like a luck card. You like do it and you pull it off. The benefit is like so overpowering. It's ridiculous. So really cool card on that. Soul Fusion is what I want to talk about next. This was such an amazing set. I was actually in Japan when this set dropped, so the release was kind of a little lackluster for me. The majority of the stuff that I had to invest in, unfortunately, had to be online. But being in Japan when this dropped out and getting to see this stuff early was really cool in, the OCG. So it was a really special time for me. But this set was such a cool set. I mean, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was the first set that donned the Danger Monsters. So we got the OG lineup of the Danger Monsters. Danger Ijin is so splashable. It's been mixed in a lot of different things. This one thing I really love about Dangers and Shaddoll is like you can so easily blend them in so many different things. So it's really cool. I really like Dangers a lot. And of course, we got the resurrection, rejuvenation, or I guess kind of the start of Thunder Dragons. This was really when Thunder Dragons took the meta by storm. And of course, we got OTS Ultimate Rare reprints of Colossus and Chaos Dragon. But I very much respect and enjoy personally, especially because of the price points, the original prints, first editions of these. I personally have several copies of the first edition secrets. I don't know why my mouse is like bugging out here. But anyway, this is just a really good set. And even like this right now, I know Colossus is banned right now. It's a matter of time before it gets lifted. I really don't even think it's going to get errated. I mean, it's going to be coming to 1 soon, eventually. I really do believe that. And this is really cheap. I think anything under 10 bones for the first edition original secrets is a really great steal. This card's really great too. Unfortunately, it's been going down. Unfortunately, this is a really good card. I really like this card a lot too. So these are probably some of the MVPs of the set. Obviously, with the original Danger stuff, more specifically for the secret rares, because with the it was 2019. I guess it was 2019 or the 2020. Tins, they made some Prismatic secrets like of Mothman, which obviously is going to be better than super rare. But overall, this is a really cool set. But more specifically, the most, I guess, the best hidden gem in this set would be Condemned Witch. And I'm going to tell you guys why. Because Condemned Witch, I don't really feel that there's enough players paying enough attention to this. I know that there's been at least one content creator that I know that has featured this a couple different times, and I've been talking about this card ever since Soul Fusion released, And right when it came out, again, like this was kind of the price point. It was a couple dollars. I think like the max it was when it first came out was like $5. Majority of them I was picking up at $4 here and there. And there's so much going on for this card. The whole searching a quick play or a forbidden magic spell is really not that big of a deal. It's kind of just okay. Like if there's eventually enough support where there's a deck that comes out where you run all the forbidden stuff. It's a utility searcher, which is kind of cool. But this effect right here is pretty unique. There's not a lot of effects that is going to drive me crazy. I don't know what is going on with my mouse. It's twitching out. Anyway, this is a really good, like this is one of the I have like no words today. I don't know why I can't talk today. My mind is like scattered. It's a really good effect. It's a good deck, special summon from the deck, searcher. It's just really good. But more specifically, it's a secret rare, high rarity secret rare. Soul Fusion is definitely not old by any means, but you know, eventually we'll get up there. This will get harder to get, and it has unparalleled artwork. The artwork in this card is so badass, and that it being again a high rarity with secret rare, and it's got a killer effect too. That's more than enough reasons to go ahead and invest in the original first edition. So we get a lightly played here for roughly around 3 bones, and then there's a near mint here for roughly around 4 if you factor in shipping. And here's 2 for 4 and 5+ pages, so plenty in the market. Definitely get on this, you guys. I think again, this is just really good stuff. So my last video, I reviewed a little trick here. So this is the official Konami website here. I'm a really big fan of a certain chapter in the OCG or a certain selection of the OCG stuff that's really collectible for me that I really like and appreciate a lot, especially being in Japan for a couple of years. And again, I don't know who is discovering my channel and who is like an older viewer or not, so I'm just going to go ahead and review this again because I think it's really useful. But kind of from the main page here, which is really cool, is so you go here. This is the main page, the official page. You can go to card database. You can look up any card in the game here by just doing the card search. But what's cool about this is you can completely change the databases from OCG to TCG. So here, Soul of the Pure is what I want to look at. It's in the search history here. You type in the card, slap it in, push search. And then this is you have to actually click on the card. This won't work, and it'll open a new tab, so you can just close this. You have to actually search it, and click on the card. And once you're actually in this part of the website, this is when you can toggle over to the languages on the top right. This is the kanji for Nihongo, which is the Japanese language, and then it'll completely just switch over to the Japanese database and the OCG. It brings up the OCG artwork, which is amazing. This is going to be one of the cards I'm going to be showcasing today and later in this video. And it brings up all the dates that it was manufactured in all the different sets, which is really cool. Obviously, this only came as a common, the oldest being from 25 May of 99 for Booster Set 2. Amazing artwork here. So I just wanted to show you guys that because I think it's a really great utility trick when you're looking for certain things about OCG related stuff. So Soul of the Pure is going to be next. By the way, Soul of the Pure only had, in the TCG, only had 2 prints, a common from Dark Beginning, I believe, and a rare from, I want to say, Tournament Pack, I believe, a Tournament Pack rare. And the last time I checked, this is just by a fluke, yeah, the rare, it's like 40 bones. It's crazy. So the Dark Beginning common, it's not much of, if anything, it's not even really a bone. But for some reason, I mean, I guess because it's Tournament Pack too. I mean, Tournament Pack stuff is ancient, and it's very, very high collectability now. But yeah, I don't know, but for some reason this really struck me as strange. It's really cool too because Tournament Pack 2 being so ancient still has the magic stamp, the original magic stamps here instead of spell. And really cool artwork too. Obviously not as cool as the OCG stuff with the censorship, but yeah, this card is 80 bones. 80 bones pretty much all across the board. There is only well, actually there is a lightly played here for about 51, but there's just really not a lot of availability. And again, this has to just be because of like age, and obviously naturally it's going to bleed to the collector's market. So pretty interesting stuff on the TCG. But for the OCG, of course, you know, this again, eBay is my platform of choice for OCG stuff. You're going to be looking at lowest to highest. I just did a generic search here. I didn't go for a specific date. Ideally, obviously, you want to go for the Booster 2 from 99, the oldest one, which is really cool because the first original set, they actually didn't have the Eye of Anubis in the right, and they also did not have an actual set number, which is really cool. That's how you know how you have like the original prints and all that. So, you know, it's like 9, 10 bones, and you varying conditions. You have to go into these listings and actually check and see, like, you know, which set it's from and what the seller says. Obviously, the majority of these are going to be shipping from Japan, being obviously that they're OCG. But again, just really great stuff. I completely just love the artwork on this. It's so gorgeous. One of my favorite Magic cards. Picked up several of these when I was over there. And it's just a really cool card. I'm just trying to get a close-up here for you guys. I guess it's going to just do the whole card here. So obviously you guys can see why this card was censored. Just want to take a moment. Really cool artwork on that. So next is going to be Final Flame. So there is the oldest version. There's a couple of different really old versions. A common and a super rare. You can see here. Here's an example of one of the super rare versions, or I think it's the only super rare version. It's a couple different versions here of this in the TCG. And this is the best version. This is, as you can tell, this is what I was talking about. This is part of the original sets. If not, I believe the first set, because there was the super version, and then also a common version that came out that, again, didn't have the set name. So you can see there's no set name in the middle right, and then no Eye of Anubis on the bottom right of the card. These are the you know, original. These are like post Bandai era original OG stuff in the OCG, so that's kind of their formatting before the Konami days and all that. Really cool stuff. Obviously, you guys can see why this card was censored for the violence and the religious aspects behind the crucifix and all that, but really cool stuff. Again, this is another one of those just really cool Magic cards from Japan that completely got ruined by the censorship, but it's really cool, kind of cool that it does, because it kind of gives us a special little hunt here for collectors versions for varying between the OCG and the TCG stuff. So really cool on that. Next is going to be Water Omotics. So this is probably one of the more infamous cards, the censorship cards, and this, I don't believe how many there. I know there was at least 2. There was this version here, as you can see, which was actually the original print, the more desirable one, because again, no Eye of Anubis, no set name, so it was part of like the first run print of the card, even in Japan. We obviously got a major censorship. I never noticed it before, but there's actually a dragon in the background. You guys can see a blue dragon, which is really cool. Obviously, I was a little distracted here with the other aspect of the artwork of the uncensorship stuff. She has really cool eyes too. For some reason, her eyes, they remind me of like Dark Necrofear. For some reason, when I look into this card's eyes, I got like Dark Necrofear in my mind for some reason. But obviously, you guys can see why this was the whole allure behind this card and its censorship. So really great stuff. And I just kind of wanted to give you guys a quick flash review. Obviously, you can be looking here on eBay, lowest price first, and you know, this was the reprinted version here, which is around 10. You have the second version here again, which had the old school text box, but you know, that's when it has the set name and the Eye of Anubis here, which is roughly around 10. And then you have some other ones here, so you guys are going to kind of hunt down. Again, I'd personally recommend, if you guys want to invest in it, I would definitely go for this version, the original one. Original print, you know, is always going to be older, relatively more difficult to find, and this is, for what it is, it's actually like relatively cheap. I mean, granted, it's just a common, but this is a very, very infamous common. There's going to be a lot of people that want to collect this all across the board, so really great investment factors behind that. The link below is going to be to my Facebook. I would love for every one of you guys to add me, message me. I'd love to talk to you guys about anything Yu-Gi-Oh related. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been part of my life for almost 2 decades. I'm really compassionate about this game. It's definitely one of my favorite hobbies. I invest a lot towards it. This has been a showcasing by The White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.